Ezreal are the changes here on NAOS Esports, but that opens up the Varus here and the Yasuo that NAOS Esports banned away a while ago. So KT, are they gonna look into securing it this game? We'll find out later, or sooner or later. But same bans was made by KT, unchanged with it. NAOS Esports unchanged as well with the 4 picks that they have so far.
It's really interesting, right? Now, the thing is, KT.RY, if they want to alleviate some of the negative damage that NAOS Esports has done in Game Number 1, Lee Sin could be the pickup, right? Lee Sin could be something that Doc could utilize to really just push back NAOS Esports' dominance coming into the game. And the fact is, they also have Corki for a late game, so that could be the perspective here that KT.RY could do, but a good denial of the Ashe.
Yeah, they take it instead. They say, Mirmo, you are too good on this champion. I want to get my hands on this time around, led by Acrobat. And what's great about this is that you mentioned the Lee Sin a while ago. This time they can pick it up once again, unless Dahl wants to get a taste on the Kazakhs back-to-back, especially with his performance a while ago, just having great access towards the backline. Whenever there's someone isolated, it's deleted almost immediately. Now Esports hovering the Jhin. No hesitations at all. They lock it in for Mirmo.
Okay, here's my thought process, right? The thing is, KT.RY, they need not the Lee Sin any longer because they have Ashe, right? So coming into the game, you have Ashe's arrows, you have extra slows, and you have Kazakhs that could scale along with Luna. And now for the side of NAOS Esports, the reason why Jhin could actually work here is because of the long-range routes that he has, right? That could also still work. The thing about why Mirmo goes in with the Ashe is because of the DPS damage that the Ashe has innately. You have the long range engage, you have the slows as well built into Ashe's kit. So that's really, really good. But the thing is, given the fact that they want that all CC composition, Jhin could still work. He could stay from far away and could still deal damage with the curtain call and also the extra roots with his skill too.
Absolutely. And it's incredible range that the Jhin possesses, right? And since they have so much engage already, a while ago he did struggle a bit in following up. At most, it's just Enchanted Crystal Arrow that he was able to lay on the table to help out NAOS Esports. But this time, he can use the curtain call, he can use the second skill as well, he can work around. He is gonna be isolated at times, but Da and Ratel will need to exert more effort to reach him just because of the tremendous range of Jhin.
Yeah, and this will be exciting. Once again, it's a run it back onto the composition with only one change and one alone. That is Jhin going into NAOS, and KT.RY, instead of picking up the Ezreal, they now have the Ashe for themselves.
Let's see if this is going to be effective, because we have seen Jhin be picked up quite a few times during the regular season. It doesn't really have much success or any success at all. So this is a big change or a big risk that NAOS Esports is committing here into this game. Let's see what their perspective is going to be here. At least their intention against KT.
Yeah, the Deadly Flourish could be used by Mirmo later on for that extra CC that could deal so much damage. So we'll see, because this will be something that NAOS Esports really has to double down on. Their Lucians and Mirmo with the Jhin as well will be the dependencies coming into these games. And now for KT.RY, once again, they pretty much have a very solid draft. Because the thing is, we've seen Ashe and Gragas coming into the bottom lane very consistently. Like, we see it every single time just because of how much utility it provides for the team.
Combos well, we saw game number 1 that he kind of struggled in helping out on the team fights. The later the game went, they oftentimes is a little bit late onto the fights. Maybe this time he can patch it up and help out the team much earlier, especially with the rotations. He is a little bit on the down end, of course, with the mobility against the Camille. But maybe with proper timings, or better timings this time around, he will be able to help out NAOS Esports.
Yeah, it definitely would be. But we're looking at this stage of the game wherein all hell will break loose is at level 5. Right? Because Ashe Enchanted Crystal Arrow will be open. You have Explosive Cast, you have Ratel with the Hex Ultimatum as well. Pretty much every single point of power here will come at level 5 with the ultimates ready, and Fate paying a visit.
Does well, saying hi. Got hit by the anchor there of Fate, but is not harmed that much. NAOS Esports trying to engage up with Margo with incredible justice spun into a flash. 2 kills instantaneously by NAOS.
Margot, time and time again, when it comes to these early ganks, when it comes to these early team fights, it's just so good. Mermo.
Exhaust gonna be invested. 4 shots already. Well. One more. Can he get it? Looks like it's not gonna be the case. NAOS Esports getting just 2 kills into the mid lane. That's alright already, Infinity.
Yeah, it's alright. It definitely is. Like, Mermo pushed back Ashe into the bottom side of the map, which was really good. But Margot, eyes on Margot. Coming into these early game fights, it's always so good. The Justice Punch connected onto one, followed up by the Shield of Durand that taunted 2-3 members of KT.RY, opened up the big opportunity for NAOS Esports to take 2 kills.
And NAOS Esports will have a bigger responsibility in this game to maintain the lead or extend it even higher against KT.RY, because they experienced in game number 1 how good KT.RY can come back, just sticking to their win conditions, sticking on the scaling. This time, there is an additional pressure of the arrow potential here of Acrobat.
Yeah, and once again, NAOS Esports has to accelerate this game a little bit faster. Coming into game number 2 that we have coming into this series as well. And yes, it's more of a balance now, because you have Jin that could really deal so much damage coming into the latter parts of this game. And for the other side, you have Ashe to alleviate the early game disadvantage they had in the series. So it's pretty much the Mermo dependency for NAOS. KT.RY has dependency onto Luna for this game too.
NAOS Esports just playing this a little more passively. Again, it's a bit of a time for KT.RY to breathe.
Arrow.
However, with the arrow connecting, this is the okay, exit out, but will not be allowed to escape, especially with this amazing follow coming from NAOS Esports. So many lockdown potential again.
That was so good. NAOS Esports knew what KT.RY wanted. They want to take that kill, given the fact that they were able to go in with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow that connected onto Mitsura. But coming into that fight, it was 3-4 members. We always have to remember that Margot is on a Galio. The map presence of this champion exceeds every single champions in the game.
Yeah, he's just so good on the execution so far in the first 4 to 5 minutes into this game. A while ago, in game number 1, they were able to get both objectives, especially with their great timing in securing the dragon before KT even started the RH. Will it be happening again? Looks like it's not going to be allowed, since the Daw is a little bit early on the Rift Herald.
Yeah. And now, you have Zero being stuck, isolated!
Oh, and Zero will just fall down! Early kill coming from NAOS Esports right off the bat, and Daw might need to disengage for now. Give up this Rift Herald. NAOS Esports is going to be saying thank you for the leash again, but Mitsura will get caught. Backline's going to be breached by KT.RY. They won't be able to get the Rift Herald.
But a kill traded for Rift Herald is really good for the side of NAOS Esports. If they want to accelerate this game, that will be their condition here to get the Tower First Blood and get a huge gold injection. And we've mentioned, big is because of long range fights.
Margot gonna be isolated from the rest of the team and deleted immediately by KT.RY. They lost their turret, but again, it's the trading that KT.RY is getting that makes them, allows them to mitigate what they're losing right now against NAOS.
One, they always look for values to get back, and that they're consistently doing.
NAOS Esports needs to be very, very careful in their approaches. It is good that they are getting objectives left and right. Double objectives once again, similar to game number 1. Not yet enough.
Yeah, and now Acrobat looking back into that fight on how they were able to really get a kill onto Mitsura is because of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. And then you have the package as well with the Valkyrie to follow through for Luna. So it was just a good coordination by KT.RY that punished the mid laner of NAOS. At this point in time, KT.RY wants to slow this down quite a bit. Could even just pay respects onto NAOS Esports. They want to replicate what they did in game number 1.
Will they be able to do this right now? Arrow connecting into the top lane. I'm still gonna be safe here. Actually re-engage. I was very scary and ambitious at the same time, but NAOS did get the tower in the bottom lane to again just help them increase their goal lead by a little more. Very reminiscent of game number 1.
Calm
gonna get isolated. Hexical Timidum gonna be used. Here comes Daw as well. Tactical Sweep will get him. A little bit late on the hero's entrance as well, but the curtain call will not land as well. And KT will walk away scot-free.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate for the side of NAOS Esports. KT.RY once again with their purview of the map, looking for a lot of these opportunities to get values back that they lost in the early game. Now,
I'm gonna use. They're just gonna be focusing on the tower. Depth charge is gonna be invested, but just for the disengage. The arrow actually connecting towards Margo. Fate a little bit isolated there, but forced a flash there by Zero. It's gonna be nice touch. Now Esports still establishing control.
And thus far, 4K gold lead for the side of NAOS Esports is really good. This is what they wanted coming into game number 1. And thus far, they just have to balloon it coming into 6K gold lead, 8K gold lead. And how they could do that is what they did once again in game number 1, which was a little bit unsuccessful, but this time around, they could do it a lot more towards more of a favorability and not towards risk, is to get that Baron, right? If they get the Baron Nashor, they get the Baron buff, they get a huge priority on lanes, and they could get much more gold.
And they need to be very careful on the setups again by KT.RY. This is exactly the same situation that NAOS Esports were in just a while ago. And KT.RY, in the mid lane, they secured 4 kills. 4-man again in the top lane. But this time, it's exactly the opposite. Not going to be able to NB himself out. Still able to escape by a short while. And NAOS Esports will just clean him up. But KT, answering back still, able to establish, flex their muscles. NAOS Esports not really too successful in that fight.
Yeah, and this is what KT.RY needs to gain a lot of gold back, and also in addition to that, to deny the possibility of those objectives takedowns by NAOS Esports. Looking at top side though, 2v1.
Making it 3 versus 2 as the rest of NAOS Esports are just there to zone out the members of KT.RY. Just setting up, making sure they have the upper hand in every sort of situation, making sure as well that they pay their due respect against KT.
Right now, it will be KT.RY who will not force the issue here. NAOS Esports was successful and to really push him back, the possibility of that engage by KT.RY. And at this point, NAOS Esports will play towards the Ocean Drake. This is the objectives on top of objectives. This will still be important for them coming into the latter stages of the game. And the Ocean Drake will give them a lot more sustainability coming onto those team fights. So expectedly, both these teams will have eyes on the Ocean Drake.
And what's good about this for NAOS Esports is that Ratel actually is not too successful this time around in the splitters department. Cobb is being able to hold out on his own, and this time Margo again, zero hesitation to go in. But maybe this time he needs to rethink his strategies because he's easily just obliterated by KT, and NAOS Esports unable to follow up.
It's just too clean. It's too good. It's too clean by KT.RY. What they're doing there is that they're really just forcing out how Margo wants to go in for the engage, or how Fate wants to go in for the engage, and Zero, they're not using the explosive cast for disengage, they're using the explosive cast for isolation. And once they do that, they get the numbers advantage, and now the Esports lose a team fight.
Yeah, numbers disadvantage is very crucial right now for NAOS Esports, but they are still going to be continuing onto the fight. Backline, unable to be breached this time around, especially with Hero's entrance by Margo. He is back online, zoning them with the Shield of Thrawn. Curtain Call going to be used as well onto the backline. Ratel might need the hook shot out. Go Sin misses the hook shot as well and gets the lead, and Acrobat as well is going to be next. And now the Esports now running at them. Zero trying to escape. Luna trying to fight back as well, but Margo is still going to be staying alive. But Zero gets obliterated by Mitsura. And they get the ace, they get the dragon, and now we're going to be pushing both sides.
And what are we saying about the Jhin? Those long-range fights, the curtain call, the deadly flourish is towards their advantage. And now as Esports won that, they get 2 dragons, and they're now looking for the inhib.
They will be able to get this unless Doll miraculously will be able to stop them. But it's not going to be possible this time around. Still lingering by the area. Ratel's going to be helping him out. Isolating Margo, just stalling for a bit. Hexical Timidum going to be invested alongside with the Ash Arrow. But now the Esports is grouped up. They might need to rethink their decisions. KT does disengage in the end.
going out unscathed, no value back for KT.RY. This is exactly what NAOS Esports wants. And now the Baron Nashor will be open for them. Now the role coming in for Murmo, for Mitsura and the likes is to just delay how KT.RY wants to force out the Baron to turn things around. And NAOS Esports done that successfully with the resets coming through for Calm and also Fate. This will still be towards NAOS Esports' advantage with already 8k gold lead in their favor.
3-0-2 is the score of Mirror on the Jhin. This is exactly the reason why they picked this champion, and it's working so well for NAOS Esports right now. You mentioned it a while ago, Infinity, the curtain call, the red flourish, the kiting ability, how difficult it is as well to reach him. KT tried through Daw and Rattel, but they're not successful in that dragon fight. We saw how it happened. We saw the ace happening. Now they're ahead by 9,000 gold. This is a big opportunity for NAOS Esports to establish more control, possibly on the Baron.
A big opportunity for them. The thing is, if NAOS Esports takes a kill, takes a gank, takes the numbers advantage, they could force out the Baron. If they win the team fight, they could end the game.
Margo holding door, making sure that they have no access towards the Baron. Calm gonna be able to escape as well, just barely dodging that Ash arrow. But now Esports cancelled on the Baron take. Depth charge gonna be invested only to be followed up with a stasis. There's a Justice Punch. They are committing. Margo a little bit low in HP. Zero as well.
Curtain call.
The calling. Hero's entrance gonna be used to re-engage. Man, Gust of Glory coming in from Margo. With low HP, still able to just help out the team. No deaths on either side, but low HP on KT.RY. Now Esports now pressuring with the Baron. Just shredding it down so fast. Is there gonna be a answer? There's no execute onto Mitsura as well. Gonna be cancelled as he kites away. And now Esports now looking for the kills. Mirmo is gonna be isolated a little bit here, but Luna might need to rethink his decisions. Will just be disengaging instead, and now Esports prevails.
They could pretty much end the game here. KT.RY only has a couple of members alive into this fight, and now NAOS Esports, they have the Baron. They have every single advantage in their favor, and now this is the advantage that they want. They could end it to get game 2.
Acrobat says engage, but Rattel said no, I don't want to. I want to escape. And they got killed along the way as well. And now the inhibitors are going to be falling down. Now Esports wants to get the revenge. They are pinning down the Ash. Acrobat is forced to flash away. And the Baron Apartment is just going to help NAOS Esports tie up the score.
1-1, even footing in the series in a best of 7. What a start that we have here in the playoffs. NAOS versus KT.RY.